I'm going to show you 12 amazing Davinci Resolve things you probably didn't know. You might know a couple of them, but you won't know all of them. Stick with me. G'day Superstars, I use Davinci Resolve all the time, pretty much every day for my work, as well as doing these videos and other videos that I do as well. And I'm always discovering these extra little tips and tricks that Davinci has. It's such a deep well of functions that you can just never learn everything. So if you're a beginner out there, the functions I'm about to talk about will make your day because some of them are just awesome. First up is a function called paper edge. This will put a paper edge border around whatever you wanted to put a border around. But it has a few other functions I think you'll find interesting. Let's take a look at it. This paper edge one is pretty cool. If you have a PNG, for instance, any PNG, there's one of me with a transparent background being a complete idiot. I'll just clip that at whatever length I want to clip it at. And just bring it down into the timeline. If you go over to your effects tab, click on effects up the top here, go down to toolbox, and in the search bar type paper edge. You see paper edge comes up, drag that over to your PNG and you'll see there's drawn a paper edge on me. But you can do other things like that as well. It's just like it looks like a rough cut edge. But you go over to inspector, click on effects, you see paper edges there. You can turn it on and off if you want to. But there's your paper edge. If you grab the edge contrast here, you can actually slide it all the way down or all the way up. If you go all the way up, it smooths it out and becomes a much bigger border. But this just doesn't work on images. It also works on transparent background footage as well. I have a lower third that I can drag in that has a transparent background. I'll bring that down next to it. There it is there. If I add that paper edge tool to that, you get an edge. A weird edge, but it's there. If you go up to inspector and go effects, I can change the edge contrast to whatever I want. I could have it like this. I can change the border color to blue or purple, like so. We can make it look like paper, or we can make it look like it's a perfect background, and it will just move with the way that the animation moves. Change it to green, for instance. You've got complete control over what you want to do. You can even bring the intensity up so it's bigger. So when you play it now, it's doing this. You've got a lot of control. It's a pretty cool thing. These next two are not available in the free version. You have to have the studio version for this. But the first one I'm going to talk about is face recognition. And you might say to yourself, what the hell am I going to use face recognition for when I've already filmed everything? But this is where it's really cool. If you're filming a wedding or a corporate event, there's obviously lots and lots of people in those events. You can use face recognition in the software to detect all the shots that people are in. It will go through and zero in on everyone's faces and put everyone in a group. So you might have the groom in one group, the bride in another group, other guests, the father of the bride in another group, and so on. So when it comes to editing, if you need to find specific shots, it's much quicker because you can go, where was that shot of the groom? It's right there. Okay, we're in Davinci Resolve and I've added a couple of shots of myself and some stock footage of a random couple of women. If you were doing a wedding, you would have hundreds of shots inside the master folder here in Davinci Resolve, but I've just got some stock footage just to show you how this works. First thing you want to do is you want to select all your files. So click in the box here and do Control A. And now we can see we've selected all our files. I'm going to right click and then go to Analyze Clips for People. That will analyze all these clips. There's only 8 clips here, so it shouldn't take too long. Now that it's gone through that, you can see the boxes have been created. And so there's me there, and then there's this woman here and this woman here. So what you can do is you can select this box here, for instance, of this woman. If you click on it, you'll see that all the clips of her are inside that folder. So you go back to the people folder over here, click on people, and you get back to your main folder. So person 1, which is me, person 2, person 3, person 4. Now this will pick people out of a crowd. So if you've got, say I was in the background of a crowd, it would pick me up. Now you've got those folders, you can give it a name. So if I select the box, then select underneath, and I can call it me. And this one here I can call woman. Okay, you get the idea. If you close this down, nothing much has changed. The whole point is to be able to find these files whenever you want. But the data is there already. So if you go up to Davinci Resolve, click on Preferences, click on User, scroll down to Editing, and it says Automatic Smart Bins for People Metadata. If you click that, Click Save. Over here on your left, you'll see the smart bins and you'll see people. And that will be all those people grouped for you ready to go, and you can drag that down to your footage whenever you want to use it. Otherwise, you go back up to your master like normal, and that's how easy it is. This next one we're going to talk about is also only available in the studio version. It's called Object Removal. Let me show you how it works. So I've got this clip here of a woman on a beach. Let's just make this clip nice and short. We're going to trim it down a little bit, and we'll drag it down into our timeline. So select your clip, go over to the color page, and we're going to create a mask around this object, and we're going to remove this woman from the frame. So click on this mask area here, click that, and come down to the pen tool, and then just draw a mask around her, like so. Now we're going to go into our tracking window, which is just here. We're going to click that. Make sure that when you did your mask, that your pointer was at the start. It doesn't really matter, it'll track both forward and back anyway. And just go to these two arrows down here and track it forward and back. If you scroll from start to finish, you can see that at the end point it's still tracked. Now you've done that, you go up to the top up here, right click and go add node, add serial node. Go to effects, type in OBJ to get object removal, drag that onto that second node, and then connect the mask to that footage using the blue dots just here like this. Because we've got motion, we're going to use scene analysis, which is just up here. So click on scene analysis to analyze the movement of that scene. As you can see, it's created a grey blob around her. And then once you've done that, scroll down to build clean plate. And now if we scroll through our footage, it's not super perfect, but it's not bad. This next tip is great for beginners. This is a project manager tip. So when you're loading up your project, you quite often have all these other projects you've had in there before, and you think, oh, where is it? And you're scrolling through, trying to find the project that you edited 6 months ago. But did you know that you can create folders inside Project Manager, so you can have all your projects in certain folders so they're easy for you to find? And this is how you do it. When you first load in a project in Davinci Resolve, or when you need to change to another project, you'll find you've got all your projects that you've done previously in one big fat long list. The bonus of this is you can actually create folders for the companies you do a lot of work for. If you click on this little box up here, you can create a folder and call it work folder, for instance, and go create, and you can drag a customers folder straight in there, for instance. Now when you click on that folder, they'll be in there. This is definitely a setting you should make available in Davinci Resolve, which is live save. So if you need to do that, you just go up to Davinci Resolve up here and click on preferences, click on user, click on project save and load, and make sure live save and project backups, timeline backups are all selected, and you can set your backup intervals here. Click save. That way when things crash, because they do occasionally, or the power goes off, you won't lose your work you've done so far. This next one's great for beginners because not many people know about it. It's inside the inspector. You may already know about scroll, zoom, position, all that kind of stuff. But did you know that if you hold the Alt key, you could zoom slower, position slower, so it gives you more of a finite adjustment. And while we're here, did you also know that if you click on the name zoom, click on the name position, for instance, it will automatically reset back to 0. So if you make a mistake, you can go back to 0 and keep going, rather than having to type 0.00 in every time you do it, or trying to scroll it perfectly. This next one's great, but it's not quite in Davinci Resolve. It's Davinci Resolve adjacent. It's hit that like button and ring that bell. This next one will save you heaps of time. So you've done an edit, it's an hour and a half long, and you think to yourself, okay, I think I'm finished. I'm ready to render it out. What if you render it out and it's got little gaps, little black spots here and there where you haven't missed, you've missed a couple of frames, or you've got big gaps where you just weren't paying attention? Well, this feature is called Delete Gaps, and I'm going to show you how to set it up just like this. So how do you set up this Delete Gaps feature? Well, now you've got all your footage down here, you've got a lot of gaps in it, you don't want to go through and scroll in every little bit. So you go up to Davinci Resolve up here, click on Keyboard Customization, type in the search bar over here, Delete Gaps. There it is there. Double click on it and give it a key. I'm going to give it a keystroke thing called C because it's not assigned to anything else, and go save. So you click on D and it says that you've assigned that key to something else. then maybe don't use it. But in my case, C is clear and free to use. And just call it delete gaps. Okay, go close. Go back to your timeline. If you hit the C key now, it will close those gaps for you and save you heaps and heaps of time. This next one's brilliant for people who are already using Davinci Resolve on a regular basis. I'm a real estate photographer, so I do a lot of real estate videos, and I edit them, of course, in Davinci Resolve. I also found that in the beginning, I was adding in the same folders, same things all the time. So I was adding in lower thirds for a certain real estate agent, or contact card for a certain real estate agent, or logos for real estate companies. I was loading those in all the time for every single video I did. But you can set up a thing called power bins. The good thing about this is you set up these bins, you put all your logos and everything in it. And the great thing about this is they're basically a folder, like a bin, that you can put logos and lower thirds and stuff that you use all the time in your videos. They're always ready to go. So you just drag them onto your composition whenever you want to use them. Saves you heaps of time and it's really handy. So let me show you how a power bin works. And this is how you set up your power bins. You're in the edit page, you go up to the three dots up here, ellipses or dots, whatever you want to call it. Click on them, click on show power bins. So now you can see that power bins is open up on the window here, and you click on master and you can create folders inside there. So right click and go new power bin or new bin, and you can call that one lower thirds. Create a new bin and call it logos. And now when you click on one of those folders, you can drag your logos into that folder and they'll always be there for every project you do. So every time you open up a project, you can just go to the master, lower thirds, drag your lower thirds down onto your footage and keep working. It saves you heaps of time. This next one's great. I love this one. I use it all the time. It's called automatic subtitles. So you can actually have your video automatically have the subtitles on the video straight away. I'm going to show you how to do it right now. I've got a clip down the bottom here which goes for about 8 seconds, which has me talking. And to create automatic subtitles, all you need to do is select your audio file, go up to timeline up the top here, scroll down and select create subtitles from audio and do create. And as you can see there, the subtitles turn up on the top there. Now if I scroll through, you'll see it working. It's connected wirelessly to your phone, so you can actually press the button and shoot photos and video as if it was an actual camera, not just a phone. All these subtitles are actually editable. You can change the look and feel of them. I've highlighted the whole lot over here. You go over to Inspector, click on the track. You can change the color, for instance. We're going to change it to like a green, maybe a bright green, for instance. You can change the size. You can do the line spacing. You can put it up and down. You can add a drop shadow. Anything you do to a normal text, you can do here, and you press play. So you can actually press the button and shoot photos and video as if it was. Now, if you only want to edit one of those, you would just select one of those files and do the editing. If you want to select all at once, that's how you do it. And while we're on the subject of automatic subtitles, the next one is Transcribe Audio. Now, what this does is it transcribes everything that's said in the video and puts it up on the screen. The great thing is you can edit by text. So you can select a section of text and just delete it, and that will cut the video exactly where you deleted it. You can cut out a whole sentence. It'll cut the video at the same time. And where I use this one personally is if I've done a long video for, say, a real estate agent who's done a market update, but they want a cut down version for Instagram or something like that. I will transcribe the finished product, cut out the stuff that I think is fluff, and it'll bring the video right down. And of course, then I export it in vertical format and away they go. Now to transcribe audio. If you're going to transcribe the audio on a video, you click on the video, but if you've got an audio file you want to transcribe, you can do it that way as well. Let's click on the video here, for instance. Go over to this little button under the media pool, and that will transcribe that audio. Now you can see the whole transcription is saved. So if there's certain parts of this you like, you can literally select this bit here, for instance, and you can make that into a subclip, which is you click on this button here, and this will just be that section. So it'll create a clip that is just that piece of the dialogue. So for instance, you've got all your script and you think, I only like this bit, create a subclip, create. I only like this bit, create a subclip, create. And it does it in sequence, so you can literally just load them into your timeline and they'll be all cut for you, ready to go. This next one's my favorite, and it's going to be your favorite too. How long do you spend looking for free sound effects for your videos? Well, I bet you didn't know that Davinci had a built-in sound library, and I'm going to show you how to get access to it right now. Okay, you're in the edit page. You want to get your sound effects through Davinci Resolve. This is really cool. You click up here on Sound Library. In your window, there'll probably be a download sound library here. Davinci Resolve and Blackmagic actually give you a free sound library with effects and so on. If it's not there, you can go over to Davinci Resolve Support Center, which is, in my case in Australia, it's blackmagic.com/au/support. But if you're in the States, it'll just be /support. Scroll down to Davinci Resolve and Fusion software. Click on that and scroll down till you get to the Blackmagic Fairlight sound library and then download it for whatever operating system you're running on. It might take a little while to find it, but it's in there somewhere. Once you click on that, you've got to put your name in and so on, and then download it and click on the Fairlight sound library. It might take a few seconds, but this folder will open up. Click Next, hit Next, Accept, Next, and go Install. Now you're back in Davinci Resolve, you click on your sound library and you'll see that there is nothing showing up. You have to switch from the local database, which was the standard one, to the Davinci Resolve Fairlight sound library. So click the down arrow and select that. Now you've got that installed, everything's cool, but you've still got no sounds. So the only way to see all the sounds that are in the library is to go to the search bar and type in 3 asterisks. 1, 2, 3. And now you've got everything in the search bar. You can see you've got all your sounds, everything you possibly could want. And of course you can search for whatever you want. You can click on cat, for instance, and you'll see all these different cat sounds that come up. But if you want to see everything, it's 3 asterisks. Otherwise, just search for what you need, drag it onto your timeline wherever you want it. And if you listen to that now, we can talk. It's a cat toy mouse squeaking toy over my voice. But there's heaps and heaps of sound effects in here. It's great. This next one is transitions. There are so many transitions in Davinci Resolve that are very, very clever. A lot of them you won't use, but a lot of them you're going to find you use all the time. But there is so much choice to be had. Transitions are great for hiding cuts, also changing the tone of a video. So if you're talking about one subject and you want to start talking about another subject, you can use a transition to show that change of time. Let's jump into Davinci and I'll show you a lot of the transitions I like to use. Down here I've got a couple of clips. One is my ugly face and then it transfers to a pretty face. But it's quite jarring if you're watching it. So let's try and get some transitions going on. And how you do that is you go up to Effects up here. And depending on how you've got your Davinci set up, your effects tab will come down the bottom or it'll end up the top here. Mine's down the bottom, obviously. Just going to click on the toolbox and go Video Transitions. And as you can see, there is heaps of transitions scrolling all the way down to the bottom. You literally can just click on it and drag it and put it right on the join of that clip. If you don't like it, you can select it and just delete it. And you can grab a different one, like a cross dissolve one, for instance. You can delete that. And there is so many cool ones. There's smooth cut ones, which are quite good. And if you look at the icons, you get an idea of what they actually do. For instance, that one's like a cross. If you're not sure how the transition is going to work, you can hold your mouse, just don't have to click anything, just hold your mouse on the left and move it to the right, and you'll see the transition happening on the other screen. And will do exactly what you think it's going to do. Barn door ones, for instance. Push. There's just so many here, it's not funny. There is just so many. This rotate one is great. I use this one on drone footage when I'm cutting from an aerial shot down to a ground shot because you can spin it and it's just so cool. I mean, this is a hell of a lot better than just having a jump into a picture of her. Another one of my favorites is this burn away one, which looks really cool. Have a play with all the transitions you want. You can make them longer and shorter, of course, if you want to. You've got full control over it. Just enjoy it and have some fun. If you're a beginner and you're new to Davinci Resolve, then you're going to love this next video here, which is 36 shortcuts that you really have to know to make your life a lot easier. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.